Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Oh, yeah. Today is August the 7th. 2018, and there's only one phrase of the day. Guess what phrase it is? Guess what phrase it is? Strong hand. This says Satoshi in Japanese, by the way. You can get this shirt below. There's all sorts of links below. Trezor, discount codes. This is from Cryptograffiti. Satoshi Nakamoto, baby. Some dude that has something to do with Bitcoin who doesn't live in Australia. All right. So yeah, tomorrow at 7 o'clock here in Boise, Idaho, I am speaking. That is linked to below. I hope to meet some of you awesome Boise people out. Boise? Look, I'm pronouncing it correctly without my Baltimore accent. You like that? Yeah, that's going to be a fun time. So let's jump right into this show right now. Again, all those dudes in the chat, there were a lot of guys in there before the show. You could do the super chat, ask me questions, baby. I'm here. I'm looking for those colors to pop up there. Matt Odell says, and you know, I love his tweets. And this is just a reminder. Every centralized service or company can be compelled to work with the government extremely easily. They have two options: play ball or have their company dismantled and potentially end up in jail. Which option are they going to choose? So again, for all of you who, decentralization, who cares? If the coin is centralized, it doesn't matter. This is the importance of decentralization, people. Right there in that freaking tweet. Pound that like button. All right. So, I noticed in the middle of the day, well, it was the beginning of the day here, the fiat price of Bitcoin, it went down. And I was like, something must have happened. There must have been something that happened, So I looked around after a while because, one Bitcoin still equals one. I still had the same amount of Bitcoin as I had before, but I knew maybe that something that happened was something that I had been talking about to all my strong handers out there beforehand. And look at this. SEC delays VanEck Solid X ETF. And you know what? That's all I needed to see. I don't need to read the whole story. I don't even link below. I don't even link to the story about it. I linked to their press release. I actually linked to the SEC's press release, which is very important. We're going to talk about that in a second. Because there was something that's very interesting about it. Because, again, on this show, I was saying, if it gets delayed, and it probably is going to get delayed because it's probably going to get delayed a couple more times into 2019, the price will go down in fiat and everyone will panic because they could never have predicted such a thing to happen. Again, if you're in the strong hand, long-term thinking, non-impulsive, deferral of gratification mindset, then they're going to be Bitcoin ETFs one day. It's going to happen. Will you have Bitcoin when that happens, though? Are you going to have Bitcoin when that happens? Because if you keep selling it and buying it and selling it and selling it, go back and forth every time there's a big jump and the charts predicted this. The charts knew that. Did the charts know that today they were going to come out with this very predictable announcement? I mean, people should have known that this announcement was going to eventually happen, of course. But I mean, for all you traders out there, so now we got a new date out there for all you traders to worry about. Because again, for the strong handers, the non-impulsive people, the people who could defer gratification, the long-term thinking, we know this thing, they're going to be Bitcoin ETFs. Bitcoin is going to be tremendous. Is it going to be in 2019? Is it going to be in 2020? Who gives a darn? I still have the same amount of Bitcoin as I did when I woke up this morning before this news came out. When I go to sleep tonight, I'll still have this. And I'm sleeping pretty darn well because I don't have to worry about when do I buy back the Bitcoin? When does the fiat price drop end? And it's really funny because, when the fiat price started going up before, I said, you know what? People are anticipating this SEC announcement. but it's going to get delayed. So we're going to, I mean, it's just so funny. You know, the buy the rumor in this, the people who know what they're doing here can manipulate the 80%ers so easily to play into their hands. These guys that are so impulsive to just buy and worry about specific things, what exact day it's going to happen, what day exactly Ethereum Classic will be added, what day, I mean, all these specific, the Bitcoin ETF will be approved eventually. It's going to be tremendous one day. We're going to look in the year 2025. We're going to look back on this. Maybe you're watching this video in the year 2025 and you're laughing your butt off now. You're laughing your butt off because, first of all, you were holding Bitcoin the entire time and now you've got a Maserati or whatever, and who knows. So, and again, don't waste your precious Bitcoin on Maseratis until, maybe after 2028. I don't know. Okay, that's a completely different subject. So this is what I want to read you here. This is a quote from the and Josh Colott just gave me $1.99. And Josh, did you notice yesterday's show at the end? I answered your question. You just said Tone talking about Bitcoin dying and Amazon coin rising. Oh, okay, you know what? I don't watch Tone's show because he white knights for that girl. And Tone is a great guy, though, but he's just totally getting, and she might be a really smart person, but I had not watched his show at all since you know, just he had that gimmick come on his show. Or whatever. I mean, it's just, again, it's for the superficial people. So I mean, if you watch that for that, I mean, whatever. Tone is from Russia originally. He lived through a communist regime. That must have been really hard. And I brought this up to him before. That he was, you know, he's got this downer attitude toward everything. I mean, I don't know what it's like to grow up under an oppressive regime like that. And I think that gave him this, like, always look on the downside of things. I mean, that's the tone that Tone gives off. It's always the glass is half empty. That is Tone. So, I mean, Josh, thanks for the $1.99. That's all I got. I like Tone a lot. Tone's a great guy. I think it's a shame that he's white knighting for that girl. And, yeah, I mean, let me tell you one thing. If when a woman comes on Adam Meister's show, he ain't white knighting for her. If there's someone on the show, she's earned her right to be on the show, but she's a smart woman. Now that Caitlin woman that we were talking about yesterday, I would love to have her on my show. That's a smart woman. I'm not trying to get any from her or anything like that. Like some of these dudes are putting women on their show because they're hot. And that is just, I really think that's, and I totally am against that. I stand for something here. This show ain't about gimmicks and that stuff, okay? This is for 20%ers to use their head. So I want to put that out there again. I like Tone and everything like that. And that lady on the show, she might be a nice person. I have no idea. I have not watched his show since he white knighted for that on his show. All right. So because men out there, I'm trying to set an example for you guys out there. But if you end up white knighting, you're going to end up broke. You're going to think with your little head. Don't think with that head. And I know it's really hard for some of the guys that are in their early 20s or whatever. You got to think straight, people. You got to think. All right, so let's go back to the SEC and thinking straight here. That was all unplanned just now. Thanks for the question, Josh. So the SEC delays. Accordingly, the commission, pursuant to Section 19B2 of Act 6, designates September 30th, 2018 as the date by which the commission shall either approve or disapprove or institute proceedings to determine whether to disapprove or the proposed rule changes, blah, 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 blah. And so now everyone's going to look forward till the day September 30th. Do you guys know that September the 30th is a Sunday? Has anyone mentioned that yet? Has anyone mentioned that? This reminds me of, because we've been through this before. There was another time they put it on a Sunday. So you didn't know if it was going to be on Friday or Monday or Saturday, or maybe they would work on a weekend. You think the government works on a weekend? Pound that like, but if you know the truth, that they're a bunch of lazy bums, they never work on a Sunday. Most of them. But, I mean, it's useless. So here you go, guys. You can use short-term thinkers, you traders out there, you try to time it. Okay, you figure out you got to know when to have your hand on the button, finger on the trigger on that Friday or that Saturday or that Sunday or that Monday. I'll be in Santiago, Chile, deciding when I wake up because am I going to go for a 10-mile run or a 5-mile run? Am I going to walk around the apartment naked or just in my boxers? Because I'll still have, no matter what, I'm going to still have the same amount of Bitcoin that I had before. And I don't care if that, and I'll still know that, they'll make their decision eventually. Whatever. So again, there you go. There's your date to think about, but it's a Sunday, remember? So that adds a little bit of another tricky aspect in it for you flippers and everything. All right. So, again, this was the price drop in terms of fiat, by $500 today. Big freaking whoop. I mean, it was, again, this is the thing. 1 Bitcoin still equals 1 Bitcoin. This is the marshmallow test of crypto. Deferral of gratification, people. Events like this, marshmallow test of crypto. All right. So in many third world countries, though, Alistair Mann, 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. It really hits home. Even this, today, all the Americans and the Westerners are like, oh my God, it's a fiat price. But in like a place like Turkey, here we have a tweet from and this is all linked to below. Alistair Milne says, still up in Turkish lira. And you know what? I'm not saying value your wealth in Turkish lira. The people, if you were in one of these third world countries like Turkey, and you're smart, and like you've seen it happen, you got into Bitcoin months ago, and who cares how much it drops a dollar? You're destroying everybody in your nation. You're becoming like a 0.1%er in terms of wealth, or you're going to end up that way because you were proactive, you were a long-term thinker, and you knew that your country is run by a despot. And I'm not just talking about Turkey. There's plenty of examples out there by sociopaths who inflate. That's getting toward hyperinflation. Everyone talks about, oh, in America we'll have hyperinflation one day. Okay, you wait around in your basement, watch your doom, PORN, and wait for that to happen. But in a lot of the countries I've traveled to, Mozambique, to Zimbabwe, to wherever, they've had this before, and they're up on the game. The smartest of the smart there. It's unfortunate that in countries like Turkey, how many guys actually made this move? I mean, they can still make this move, though. They can still get out, but it's just going to get worse. So, yeah, on days like this, when you're like worried about, oh, what's it worth of dollars? Think about the people in Turkey or in, I don't know where, Venezuela, our brothers in Venezuela that come on the show. Shout outs to Gabriel and Maximo and everybody that comes on the show from Venezuela and everything. Jaime, everybody. They'll be back again. That was a great show. Check out the July 4th show in the archives, disruptmeister.com. Great Venezuela show. Only Venezuela guest. It was great. All right, enough about hyperinflated countries. Most of you aren't from there anyway, and there's just a lot of people that, you're still going to like try to, I'm going to sell my Bitcoin on Coinbase because it just went down. I won't have to pay tax. No, you will have to pay tax. Well, again, you learn the lesson the hard way. And this show, how will this show age? When you're watching this in the year. Again, think about that sometimes. Some of these shows that I'm doing. Try it. If you're not a long-term thinker, just think to yourself, okay, I'm going to try to get myself a long-term mentality. If I'm watching this show in 2028, what am I going to think about this show? And then compare it to what you think about this show now. And see, like, well, maybe I should change my direction here. Maybe I should really try to, hold on to this stuff. All right. Because, again, 2022 isn't that far away. 2020 halving, baby. I mean, less than 2 years away. And I've been talking about this darn thing since the darn 2016 halving, which, of course, so many of you weren't even around. I mean, again, I was joking about the Sunday decision. It's amazing that the SEC is going to come out with a decision on Sunday. We've already went through this before, but half of you don't remember, or most of you don't remember. It was the same thing, a Sunday decision. Everything is cyclical here. It is so amazing. Okay, going back to a Caitlin Long article, I linked to it again, that Forbes thing, something that I should have just read yesterday that would have simplified everything. And, watch yesterday's show. It's linked to below. Ponder this. How willing are cryptocurrency owners to pledge their cryptocurrencies, i.e. give up their private keys to the financial system, thereby permitting creation of debt claims against them? Many cryptocurrency holders are long-term holders. Will holders permit the financialization of cryptocurrencies? And that just sums up everything that I was saying before, okay? Because how willing are some of you out there and some of the entities that hold cryptocurrency to give up their private keys to these organizations by lending it so that they can permit the bad financialization, as she puts it, of cryptocurrencies? And guess what? I say that there are plenty of people who are willing to do that. I'm not willing to give up my private keys to lend to some big financial organization, so maybe I'll get a little bit of interest or whatever the bribe will be. Greed will get some people. They're not true holders, okay? If they're willing to take this risk and just give up their private key, because again, they're going to say, "Oh, don't worry, we're a tremendous financial organization. We're trillions of billions of dollars or whatever. We can't lose you. You're giving us your Bitcoin, but it's still your Bitcoin." No, it's not, people. No, it is not. No matter how rich and great and powerful the organization is, or new and technologically advanced, once you give up that private key, once they have your private key, something bad can happen. It's not yours at all. And anyway, the custodial accounts will tell you something completely different. And it'll be nice and pretty. And maybe they'll have a hot spokeswoman telling you about it too. Maybe they should hire Tone's friend for that, to be their representative or something. And half of you will be convinced. Maybe Coinbase should hire her. Coinbase should hire that girl. Or any of them, you know. And you guys, you white knights will be like, "Ooh, you know what? Coinbase is safe. Yeah, I'll give my private key." All right. So yeah, any of this lending stuff is nonsense, by the way. Again, so many of you are like, "Oh, let's get into the lending, but we're going to need to have lending in cryptocurrency, Adam. We're going to need it." Okay, you can give up your private key to them. You can give your private key to them, and maybe they'll show you their booby or something, and then they'll be worth it. And then you'll lose 20 Bitcoin because you saw a booby, and that'll be great. That'll be awesome. And I'll have all my Bitcoin still, and I wouldn't have seen any boobies unless I can just type in like XXX.com, and I mean, it's like 2 seconds, right? Anyway, so again, do nothing. I know that sounds boring, people, but the impulsive people cannot defer gratification. If holding should not be boring, it should just be like a reassuring thing, long-term thinking. I mean, I guess I was just born this way. Born this way, isn't that some pop song by some like booby or something? Or I don't know. All right. Yeah. So again, do the boring. Doing nothing is better than lending and letting and again, the people who are going to loan their Bitcoin and let these custodial accounts hold their Bitcoin, they're the same people who go, "Why is Goldman Sachs so rich? Why do they control the world?" I mean, look, you're making them rich. You're giving up your private key. I mean, come on. It's so funny. And again, isn't Poloniex already like sort of owned by, or it's going to be owned by, some of you still do business with them? And when you do, again, you're keeping your cryptocurrencies at Poloniex, and then you're crying at the same time, "Oh, why is Goldman Sachs so rich?" And again, when Poloniex gets hacked, or when whatever gets hacked, you're going, "Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was safe." It's only safe when you control it, dudes. And those honeypots of the future, I said it on yesterday's show. Trace and Caitlin implied it on their show. These huge honeypots of these custodial accounts that are going to be super duper safe, when one of those gets hacked, and one will get hacked in the future, because we're not even there yet when these big things even exist yet. Again, I mean, that was what the whole first part of this darn show was about, that, yeah, Bitcoin ETFs are going to happen one day. Tremendous custodial accounts are going to be happening one day, and the financialization of Bitcoin is going to be happening. When this happens one day, and when one of those things get hacked by some 19-year-old in Russia, okay, or wherever, Ukraine, China, it doesn't matter, India maybe, and the price of Bitcoin goes down $5,000 in one day, and it's so obvious it's going to happen. But those of us who are prepared will still have our strong hands and be like, "Yeah, we knew this was going to happen. We knew too many people don't understand what controlling their private key is all about, and this is what it leads to." But it'll bounce right back, just like, again, for all you fiat whackers out there, just like how whatever the price is now, I don't even know what it is. It'll come right back up again in terms of fiat. It always does. Let's see how the Hoffman line holds this time, people. Again, well, that'd be very interesting to see how well the Hoffman line holds. I mean, that's the only reason I'm interested in this. I pay attention to the fiat thing. I was like, let's see if this, when is Andy on? Because again, it talks about the institutional interest, that when it gets down to that Hoffman line, all these institutions that you're going to end up lending your Bitcoin to or letting them have control of because you can't control your third party, they're the ones who buy it when it gets to this level, the Hoffman line. All right, so Matt Odell has another tweet out there about centralization. The good news is that every time these centralized platforms abuse their power to censor voices they disagree with, they hasten the transition to new censorship-resistant platforms. Our apps need to be designed so this type of censorship isn't possible in the first place. So again, if you're complaining about YouTube and Facebook censoring Alex Jones, you have to create your own. There got to be decentralized platforms one day, hopefully, where you're not going to have to worry about this type of thing. Or you can just, and you know what? James DeGorico just asked me, what does white knighting mean? We're not going to just Google it, dude. So I mean, we can't have this show to become one of these, ask me anything Adam Meister things. It just is not. That's off topic. That doesn't. I talked about it at one point. Google it if you want to know what it means. Or Vention MGTOW is in there right now. Vention MGTOW can explain very well what that means. All right. So again, I'm getting distracted. So yeah, our apps need to be designed so this type of censorship isn't possible in the first place. So again, if you don't like what Facebook and YouTube and everybody's doing, get onto your own platform, make your own platforms. Let's work on something that involves crypto, and we're going to talk about DLive in a second. So I got on DLive today. I posted my first video on DLive today. I guess it was coincidental. It's on the same, on the same 24-hour period that all this YouTube and Facebook censorship happened. And you know what? If I got on it, Alex Jones and whoever else, they should get on it too, okay? It would help a lot. It would help the DLive and Steam it and Steam a lot. And I've talked about this before. Andy Hoffman's talked about this before, how it would help. And by the way, did I skip that Andy Hoffman thing? I got a link to Andy Hoffman below. Guys, check that out. Hopefully I'll get into it in a second. But yeah, so I linked to my DLive video. It's my first DLive post. It's just a test. It's a very short video of when I was in Los Angeles just me speaking in Los Angeles for a minute in April. Something I had not made public yet. It's not that special. It's like talk about my father for 1 second. My dad's a great guy, of course, but okay, you got to be in motion for all the Steam It fans. First of all, Alex Jones has got to be in motion. He's got to transition to another platform. I think he's doing that. I don't watch him or anything like that. But it'd be great if he transitioned to the crypto, if he learned more about cryptocurrency. I know one time he was paranoid about cryptocurrency, but he's paranoid about a lot of things. And I think his whole gimmick is to be paranoid, to get all those paranoid people to buy his products and to watch his show over and over and over, and believe that just ultra paranoia is the way to go in life and to not be in motion. But again, so all you Steam fans out there, let's forget about Alex Jones for a second. All you Steam fans out there should use this Alex Jones thing as an opportunity to say to people that there is an alternative to YouTube that exists. It is, you can say it's Steam It, you can say it is DLive, and that, you know what, if you're a content creator, you should post on this right now. You can earn a cryptocurrency on it. Or you can even tell people who and I am not advising anyone to actually to buy this, but if you are a Steam It or a Steam or a DTube fan, you tell people out there, this is the future. This DTube thing is the future. If you're not a content creator, you can buy a share in it by just buying Steam. Now, I'm not saying to buy a share in it, okay? But there are just some people that feel that's the only way they can participate in this whole thing. And again, if you are a fan of DLive, you got to do what you got to do here. You got to do what you got to do to get this thing going, to get this thing popular. You just can't sit there. You got to be in motion. Other platforms will jump in, okay? Also, there is going to be a big cryptocurrency social media platform eventually, okay? And hey, this is your shot, DLive people. Take advantage of the Alex Jones situation. But at the same, you guys are probably going to tell people, well, if you buy Steam, you're buying a share in the future of what we're trying to do here, which in a sense, I mean, that is true. That is true. If you buy this Steam, you really believe in DLive and Steam it. Now, again, I'm not saying to do that. No. I'm not saying to buy it, because all you got to do is just post stuff on there. You earn it for free. And again, if all these people start buying it, it does help me. I'm not going to. But again, I'm telling people right now, I'm being honest. Don't buy it. You don't need to buy it when you get it for free. But again, there's so many people. Again, top of this video was all about how there's all these people who cannot control their own private keys. So they want ETFs to happen. They want financialization, crazy forms of financialization to happen. So other people can buy the Bitcoin for them and hold the Bitcoin for them and pretend it's their Bitcoin. People just cannot take the easiest route sometimes, or the least risky route sometimes. That's what I should say. Because in the long run, the least risky route when it comes to Bitcoin is just controlling your private key. It's up to you. You have the personal responsibility. If you lose it, you lose it. But if you let somebody else control it, you don't know what they're going to do. It's up to them. You're just totally. And again, the easiest route to earn Steam is to mess around with DLive, make your videos, be a content creator, write stories, do whatever you do. But then the easier, risky way to get involved with DLive is to buy Steam. And I don't know why anyone would even do that, but geez, look at the markets. People do it all the time. So again, if this DLive thing becomes big, yeah, the Steam is going to go through the roof because the people are going to buy it because they're going to think it's investing in the company or whatever. Again, the best thing you can do is just be a content creator, get it for free, and then you'll be real happy. All right, so that was a lot of Steam talk today in DLive. I guess I must be excited that I posted my first DLive. I'm always excited, aren't I? I just realized that. That Adam Meister guy's got a lot of energy. Why is that? Why? Is it because he's healthy and takes care of himself? Yes, it is why. And I've always been energetic. You got to be in motion, people. You got to love it. All right, Blake Anderson was in the chat yesterday, and he said this, and I really like this statement, what he said in the chat. He just came out randomly in my chat. And Blake, for all you old school guys, this is a dude who's been around the Bitcoin YouTube space. He used to be on Thomas's show on the World Crypto Network. He's been on a lot of different shows, but he has a lot. He's a great family man, a great father. This is a great man, a great father, a true man. And he's very busy with his family life and stuff. So he disappears for a while, but he's still paying attention. And he said, during these conditions is when I love to see crypto content being made. The positive aspect of all-time highs are self-evident, but I miss the good content made when the real OGs stick with it. Pound that freaking like button. He knows what this is about. It's easy as anything to make videos and have boobies on there when everything's going through the roof and everything like that. It ain't so easy to make one every single day. You got to have commitment and conviction to do it every single darn day when all these people are screaming about fiat price and this and that. Because one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. You believe it with all your might and all your freaking soul. That's how you can do it. I mean, again, for all you guys looking for meaning out there, you can see what freaking meaning means when you're looking in my freaking eyes, can't you? Anyway, so final note of the day. I think I'm becoming Alex Jones. I'm screaming like that dude now. But dude, I ain't built like that, bro. I know. I'm like half his weight. I'm half Alex Jones's weight, but Alex, he's taking all those very good supplements, no doubt. There's supplements he says they could be good, but he's probably drinking a bunch of Coke. You just can't eat this. Even if the supplements are really good or whatever, if you're still eating nachos and Coca-Cola, is it going to work for you? My advice is don't waste your money on supplements and stuff. Get real food. Get real food like the apples. I got an onion back there. There's chicken or whatever in the fridge. So real foods. Okay, that's Beyond Bitcoin. This show is becoming a Beyond Bitcoin show, which is it really shouldn't be. It's not Saturday. It's Tuesday. And remember, speaking of Saturday, I'll be speaking in Los Angeles on Saturday. And then Philadelphia the next Saturday, the 18th. All that stuff is linked to below. So Robinhood. I'm listening to the Ben Shapiro show because again, I have listening comprehension. I go on the YouTube, I turn on the, I'm eating, I'm cooking, I'm doing all these things, and I have the Ben Shapiro show on YouTube. I don't need to see his face, okay? I don't need to see, but he doesn't have fancy graphics or anything like that either. I wouldn't need to see it. I listen and I understand. So all of a sudden I hear, because again, I don't see it because I don't need to, again, and you guys don't need to see me right now. 95% of you are men. Why do you want to see me? I don't get it. I don't get it. But again, most of you want to, I know what you want to see. And I know what, you guys fall for the fan. A lot of people out there, my 20%ers, I know you don't fall for that. You know I'm not talking to you. You know I'm not talking to you out there. This is a 20%er channel. But we know who falls for what and what the S that they're selling out there. Some of these nonsense fan. I mean, if you're fooled by the fancy graphics and all that stuff, you're fooled by anything. You really are. But get to your point, Adam. The point is this. I hear on the Shapiro show advertisement for Robinhood, the Robinhood app. And it says, again, you could buy stock, you could buy crypto. Oh, he mentions crypto on it. He even gives his referral. I linked to it below. So is this progress into the mainstream, pseudo-mainstream? Hey, it's one step at a time. I think it's a small positive step. It's something I wanted to bring up because I don't think you're going to hear about it anywhere else. I don't know if any crypto guys watch that have shows talk about what they're listening to when they're cooking. But it was I'm just like, oh, Robinhood. But again, the Robinhood thing is like totally. I mean, again, I've never used it, but when you buy your crypto on there, don't they hold it for you? So you really don't own it anyway. But hey, it's interesting. A lot of people that listen to Ben Shapiro show, they probably haven't heard of crypto before, and it gets them more comfortable with it. So that's good. And it's interesting that they want to sponsor his show. Finally, Vincent MGTOW says, he sends $5. He says, you're doing great, Adam. And no, I don't care what you look like. Well, thank you, Vincent. Thank you for the $5. And I know Vincent, of all people, of all the people out there, I know you, a true MGTOW, doesn't give a rat's behind what I look like. I could look like a freaking rat's behind, all right? And you wouldn't care. You care about the content. You care about being a man, going your own way. Check out Vincent MGTOW's channel, by the way. Google him. He's very well known in the space. He's incredibly well known in the space of the MGTOWs. And the MGTOWs should they should be listening to him and getting into Bitcoin. You've got Sandman on there saying, you need to buy stocks with dividends. Dividend, and he's talking in his monotone Canadian accent. Dividend, and the thing about Sandman is when he's interviewed, he sounds totally normal. When he does his show, it's just like he's playing a part. It's whatever. It works for him, baby. But like some of these MGTOWs, even though Sandman is not even 40 years old, he's telling people you need to get your dividend producing stocks, and then he'll mention crypto on the side, kind of. Come on, man. Come on, man. If you're in your 20s or your 30s, dividend producing stock, what the heck? This is your time to change the freaking world, dudes. Bitcoin, pound that like button. I'm Adam Meister, Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the notes section below. I am out of here. I'll say hi to you guys in the chat. Oh!